Thanks for coming, everybody. My name is Ralph Trout. I'm the electrical program manager for SMUD for electricity as a transportation fuel. I've been involved with electric vehicles since 1992 when CARB passed the first original mandates for electric vehicle charging. I worked at Ford Motor Company for 10 years in the advanced development team for alternative fuels for the very first electric cars, and I've been continuing to do so for many years. I represent SMUD at the SAE, NIST, and IEE meetings for technology related to standards development that supports electric vehicles.
With regards to employee EV charging, Level 1 EVSEs are exempt from Handbook 44 with requirements for providing telemetry, cost data, or any other information. Our employees pay $4 a week for unlimited access to unlimited amount of energy using Level 1. Now, let's take a look at the Level 2. So when we originally designed this facility for EV charging, we put in oversized switchgear and an appropriate sized transformer. The trough that you see going overhead was sized for, let's say, some kind of technology breakthrough comes through in battery technology, and the 300-mile range becomes commonplace, and Level 2 becomes the standard for charging, not Level 1. For us, it's real simple. We can just pull new wires down. We already have the oversized this. We just put in a new transformer, and we're done. Our system was designed with the intent that protect for Level 2, just in case. So, as you can see, this with the Level 1s, Level 2s, the switchgear, the trough, the engineering, the architectural drawings, the electrical drawings, the building permits, $225,000.
Is there any direct connection between the solar and the EVSE?
Yeah, at the transformer. The question was, is there any direct connect between the solar, the EV charging, the fast charger? Yes, it is. This is a microgrid. The secondary transformer of the SMUD device is where everything's tied into. So the solar drops in there. The EV charging comes off of that secondary. The battery system behind you, behind this brick wall, is tied into the secondary. So this is our microgrid playing project. We monitor it very regularly. How much sunshine, what was the weather forecast, what did we get, how does our model predict based on solar energy, how much energy did the electric cars consume today, how many fast charging events did we have. So we get all this data and we look at it in terms of, what kind of information and statistics does it generate for us. Again, for us here, we allow our employees to use this, but because of that sign, I don't have to put in the special Level 2 EVSEs that tell the customer how much energy they're getting, because it's signed and marked SMUD vehicles, and I don't enforce it. I don't enforce it. So let's talk briefly about signage. Handbook 130 requires signage. Your stickers. 1 hour EV charging, no parking except for EV charging, and your rate. Also, if you look out there at the entrance, you'll see ingress and egress signs that say DC fast charging. These are all mandatory signages when you have a public electric vehicle charging station where they're paying for fuel just like they pay for gasoline, they're paying for the energy. All of this is mandatory.
Can you clarify whether they're paying for fuel or parking?
Correct. Yep. This is mandatory.
Is this being used now? How often is it used?
This gets used right now, we're averaging 7 uses a day.
7? Really? By the public or by SMUD?
Public.
Really?
Yeah. And as you notice, the fee, 23 cents, is subject to a 35-cent transaction fee. Our third-party provider, Greenlots, who handles the back office, has a 35-cent transaction fee. That price includes State of California excise tax, State of California utility tax, City of Sacramento tax, as required, because SMUD is now in the retail sale, just like a gas station. we have to collect the tax at the time of sale.
So that
So-
means you're abiding by metrology standards.
Yes, 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 yes. This, next, let's talk about NIST Handbook 44 for fast chargers. They're years away from being there. As a fast charger works, we all know it's DC output, and it's the voltage and the current fluctuates as the state of the charge of the battery. Well, how do you calibrate that? It's not like a level 1 or level 2 where it's fixed voltage, fixed current. You know, that's kind of like your meter at home, fixed voltage, fixed current. We know how to do that. We don't know how to do that with DC power at a varying voltage and a varying amperage. So calibration of these devices is years away. It's coming, but it's not here today.
Perhaps your data will help develop some kind of, calculus.
Yeah.
So if it's not calibrated, how is it determining the number of kilowatt hours?
There's an internal meter, and it's geared to 3%. So there's a 3% plus or minus variance on the actual, but that's best we can do today.
They can't charge kilowatt hour.
Anybody else have any questions?
Do you know what kind of cars use this car, like Nissan Leafs mainly, or maybe Teslas, or?
This is the SAE combo connector. It works in all US and European models. US and European, and most Japanese.
Right, yeah.
And this is the Chatamo connector. It works on the Mitsubishi I and the Nissan Leaf.
The new Chatamo
They're
connector
the-
is so much better than the old one.
And it's everybody can feel the weight of these things. This is why they're exempt from the ADA weight requirements, because this is stout. And then the new SAE is going to start next month working on 2018 DC fast chargers, which will be 150 kW. Not 50, 150 kW. That's going to be the same time that the 250, 300 mile range electric cars hit the market. So imagine how heavy this is going to be when those come out.
Or your cord gets shorter.
I don't think your cord's going to get shorter. No, I don't. I seriously doubt that. So this is pretty stout. If you held this,
What about the actual use? Who actually use of this station? Do you see Nissan Leafs coming for the most part, or mostly Teslas, or is it mixed?
what's the mix on usage versus technology? I would say 50% are Leaf, the other 50% are all the US models. And that's simple because the Nissan Leaf has been around for a longer period of time. It has market penetration. Yeah. And as of today, there are 24 different models of all electric vehicles on the marketplace today.
But out of those 24,
Only 2 can use this.
right,
Only 2.
Three.
No.
3?
3.
3?
The Mitsubishi I
Mitsubishi I.
need, the Kia.
Oh, the Kia Soul uses this? I did not know that.
But there's not that many souls around.
I didn't know they did this. Thank you for the. I did not know that. So, with regards to payment systems, today we have a standard credit card reader. By May, this will be replaced with a new smart system, the Tap and Go, that you can use your smartphone or your iPhone and just tap it, and it will read your credit card number and authorize it. So we're in the process of updating that all of our systems so that we have that feature probably in May-ish. Right now we're working with the vendors Slam, trying to bring all the Targets and Sears and everybody else, and we're kind of the bottom of the list.
Is your data, I'm assuming it's not shareable.
What would you like to know with regard to the question? What was our data? Is it
I'd
shareable?
like to look at the data and help you understand whatever you want to understand. Like
What?
user data, like how much they use it and so on.
How user data? I have no problem sharing the user data with the group. How often it's used, when it's used, off peak, on peak, things like that.
You're right.
This is SMUD.
Yeah, okay.
They do that.
I have no problem sharing that with the people. The 23 cents per kilowatt hour rate, when we started this project 4 years ago, we had a meeting with our rates department, and we tried to figure out how do we want to price this electricity. So we assumed a 9 o'clock event, a noon, a 3 p.m., a 5 p.m., and a 7 p.m. on July 15th and it's 115 degrees outside. So what's the true cost of electricity at those 5 times, plus transmission and distribution, plus DR because we're pulling 50 kW right now? We took those 5 values, averaged them together, and it came out to 21 cents. 21 cents. That's break even. That's no profit. So,
That's significantly lower than just about any other fast charger out there.
yeah, pretty. And the question is it lower than most people? Yeah. Is Nissan still charging $10 for unlimited use?
I think it depends on which plan.
Yeah.
City of Roseville's at 30 cents
City of Roseville's 30
That's
cents?
level two.
That's
level
about
two.
for level 2.
for level 2.
For level 2. Wow.
And they just started that a couple months ago.
I
Used to
didn't know
be
that.
free.
Didn't know that.
BMW's part of charge point now, and they do 2-year with your lease, 30-minute periods of DC fast chargers, as many as you want for 2 years.
So BMW now has a charge point contract for unlimited charging.
Yeah.
I know Nissan Leaf's doing the same thing. Yeah.
How was your downtime and maintenance been for this installation?
The question was our downtime and maintenance. We've had 0. We had 1 downtime for a period of 5 days. This connector broke. It was a manufacturing flaw, and every single one of my units was impacted. So they had to give me a new cord set and cable connector, and I had to wait for the parts to come in and replace it, and then it was back up. But as far as reliability of the fast charger unit, I've had 0 downtime. It's been operational for in March. It will be 2 years.
Did the other unit go down when the right side went down?
No. No, the question was, did I take the unit out of service because the Chatamo wasn't working? Yes. I took the whole unit out of service because it wasn't safe to protect the public. Even though you could have used the other connector, we didn't want to take a chance on somebody getting hurt.
Let me ask you kind of a tricky question, but if you wanted to recover all the investment in this equipment, installation equipment, how much would that rate be?
The question was, what would the rate need to be to recover the return on investment to break even with the ROI? This site right here, with regards to the concrete, it's 17 feet wide, it's 1 feet slope, 42 inches. As you can see, there's no roll-up inhibiting issue, so you've got your ADA compliance with regards to access. Buy the equipment, provide the plumbing, the electrical contractor, and the concrete was $125,000. The camera was already there. I didn't have to pay for the camera was already there. So 125. The drawings I'm going to send out to everybody for our Citrus Heights facility, including buying the equipment, all the infrastructure, the general contractor. For example, the DC fast charger is $30,000. The level 2 EVSE is $7,500. The switch gear was $60,000. The SMUD's cost for bringing new service was $45,000. The trenching costs and general contractors were $125,000. The lighting control systems were $15,000 each. SMUD is self-insured, so we have cameras that are on all the time, and we videotape for liability protection. So those of you who will be doing commercial facilities or workplace charging, you need to think about that with regards to liability protection. Are you going to video record? The high resolution cameras with 24-hour recording and data backup was $45,000. So grand total, not including my wages and the rest of the team players, was $335,000. When you add in my cost, my SMUD team, total cost was $415,000 per site. $415,000.
For the antelope
Mm-hmm.
facility?
Yep. That the question was, that include the antelope? Yes, that does.
How much you said again?
$415,000 when you include my
Is it
no,
place?
not this site, the antelope, the Citrus
Oh,
Heights,
okay.
the Citrus Heights facility.
But also for one station like that. with two
This one
chargers?
right here is 125. 125.
Wow.
Is a lot of that cost because it's retrofit, like the trenching costs and stuff, if it were a new facility, not a retrofit facility, would be as costly?
The question was, what's driving most of the cost? The fast charger alone is $30,000, and it's a 408 feed, so that's industrial power. So that's a new service. So you got to bring in 480, and just the transformers cost me $45,000 just to get the transformer. Now I got to get the new service connection, and that's $270 per linear foot trenching, conduit, and wiring. Now you need, because it's 480, that's industrial grade switchgear. $60,000 for all the switchgear and the meter mains. They do make a 25 kW DC fast charger that runs on 208. It's half the price. It's 208, which is standard, industrial power. It's instead of 483 phase at 100 amps, you're now 208 three phase at 100 amps. So your costs go down. Now you're into that kind of switchgear we saw over there, not the big commercial stuff. So you can take that step back, but understand that in 3 years, this 50 kW is going to be obsolete, and right behind you, I'm going to be putting in a 150 kW DC fast charger for all the new cars September 1st, 2018.
If you wanted something autonomous, as far as not having to do all the trenching and avoiding that, could you, looking toward the future, do something that was based on solar and energy storage?
The question was about, what about solar and energy storage for fast charging and the battery backup? You saw the $600,000 solar system up here, and it's only 80 kW. So you're going to do one quick charge once a day, and right now I'm averaging 7. And that's assuming you got daylight all day long, so you got power to fill the batteries.
Hours?
I'm sorry?
That's 80 kilowatt hours?
80,000.
Or, probably 80. These are 80,000 kilowatts.
Yeah.
No, 80,000 watts.
80,000 watts.
All right. So over a day, over 10 hours or 5 hours, you get 400 kilowatt hours.
Yes.
Okay. That's more than one charge a day, though.
That's assuming, you got to remember that daylight's only from, you're going to get your afternoon charge from noon to maybe 4.
That's what it gets 4 hours.
In the morning you're going to get something, in the late afternoon you're going to get something, but you don't get 24 hours of sunshine.
Right.
So
And realistically, unless you're putting in trackers, you get efficiency degradation outside of that mainstream part of the switch too.
yeah,
These were set to get them the most bang for the buck at the highest assumed peak time back when this was supposed to be an H2 cracking station.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause this was the H2 fuel station.
yeah,
So
that,
it wasn't optimized for this use is the short answer. It was
Yeah.
optimized for a very specific time limit.
yeah,
But you're right, there's no way you can, unless you can blanket a site in solar.
yeah. Solar just doesn't make any sense. The cost of the panels and the amount of energy it's going to cost, and then the battery storage. We're doing this as part of our microgrid study to look at how much, we do weather forecasting and solar forecasting, and then we look at how accurate was it and what did we really get.
Right.
And we're doing battery discharge cycles. Sometimes we'll use the batteries and not the grid to run the fast charger, so we can look at how the profile of the battery system worked versus the grid. We'll divert the energy so we can do some microgrid studies.
So it's secondary point is this research station too.
It's a research station, yeah. It serves a public need, but it gives us a lot of information too in terms of technology.
So then part of your ROI is actually an intangible.
Yes.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Anybody else have any questions? Again, pay attention to the signs. No parking except for EV charging, 1 hour limit. You can legally, in the state of California, post another sign that says, beyond the 1 hour, we will tow. But you have to file for a permit with the authority. You have to hire the company. You got to put them under contract. You have to post the name of the company that's been hired. And for us, it ain't worth the hassle. Most EV drivers get the 1 hour. Most of them not even, on average, when I share with the data, you're going to see most people here about 12 minutes. Except for the summer, they were here about 18 minutes. Why? Well, you had to run your air conditioner. So your miles per electron went down because it was so hot outside, you had to run the air conditioning. But you'll see that.
Who enforces that?
Who enforces that? Nobody. It's strictly courtesy.
But if I come with my Tesla, my Nissan Leaf, and I plug in and I walk over for a meeting for a couple hours, my car is here.
Yeah, your car will be here. You might find a nasty note on it from SMUD. The question is, what if I could bring my Nissan or Tesla and I leave it here for 2 hours while I go into SMUD for a meeting? We're not going to tow your car. Security will probably leave you a little nasty note. I'll probably get a phone call.
So I can do it.
Yeah, we really wish you wouldn't, but we're not going to tow your car. We're not going to call the police. So, yeah, but yeah, exactly. No good deed goes
This one
unpunished.
doesn't lock like level 2 on a leaf, so somebody else can pull up nose to nose and unplug you. So it's hard.
Anybody else have anything else with regards to questions? Please take a look at the signs as you leave with regards to what's required by DOT as regards to point of access and identification. That's it. I'm done. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you for your time today.